Hey market disruptors, how do you control yourself to be able to sell at the top of the market and buy at the bottom? How can you have an argument and convince somebody that they should be investing in the cryptocurrency? And are we going to see a massive mergers and acquisition spree in the blockchain space? These are questions that you submitted and I'm going to answer right now. So stay tuned. Welcome back. So this is the episode. Every week, I'm going to take your questions you submitted. I'm going to answer them on video with a much more expanded answer. Now, if your question is picked, you are going to get $10 from me. If your question is the best question of the week, you are going to get $50. So everybody, put your questions down below. You're going to win money, right? We're talking about investing. We're talking about making money. Don't leave money on the table. Not only do you get your question answered, you get to win money. The only rule is you have to be subscribed to the channel before you submit your question. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit that alarm button to make sure you're alerted when they go up. Tune in. Of course, you have to see this. You have to message me to get the money. I'm not going to message you. So be subscribed, answer your question. Now let's get right into it. The winner from last week's question and answer video was Nitzim Katzer. And his question was talking about, will Bitcoin be able to win because of the head start and the network effect that it has, or will it suffer the fate of a first mover like we've seen with other technologies like MySpace, Netscape, etc. So if you haven't seen the answer to that question, go back and watch it in the previous video. But Nitzim, if you're watching this, send me a message to claim your money. So the first question we're going to answer is from DP Priest. And he said, how do you control yourself from overbuying when perception is beyond reality? I'm almost tempted to keep pumping funds into the current bear market. Thanks for the content. First off, he said, when overbuying, when perception is beyond reality. So if you haven't watched the video about the volatility being a difference of perception and reality, I'd highly recommend that you go back and watch that video to understand that's a very, very powerful concept. How do you control yourself? And that's one of the biggest problems that any investor has, right? So we have, as humans, we have basically two things that we're motivated by. We are motivated, our psychology motivates us to either move towards pleasure or move away from pain. When the price of Bitcoin is going up to the roof, or the price of cryptocurrencies are going up to the roof, everybody wants to rush in and we want to buy. And the faster that it starts going up, the more people that buy, which means the faster it goes up, which means more people want to buy and so forth. And the reason why we do that is because that's our human nature. So we want that gain. We want those profits and we're going to run in. And then we buy the top of the market. And then when the price goes down and it stays depressed for a long time, now it's not going anywhere and everybody's mad about it, everybody's sad about it, they're grieving, whatever, they're in disbelief, then everybody wants to get away. It's painful. I want to run away, get away from the pain. And so that's what, as human nature, that's what we want to do, but we have to learn to go against that. And we have to learn to sell into the greed and buy into the fear. He asked, how do you control yourself to do that? The answer to that question is that it's through education. So understanding that the best profits, the best way to play the market is to sell when others are greedy, buy when others are fearful. So we know that fundamentally, right? We had the education. We also know enough about market cycles to know when we're in those periods. So that really all comes from education. It comes from studying the market. And then the hard part is really to get rid of the emotion and become more analytical. The answer to that question, DP Priest, is education. That's the key piece. We'll get to the next question, which is from NeoGeoJr. And he said, what is the best argument that I can give to people to help them realize how great of an opportunity it is to invest in the cryptocurrencies? Neo, what I would say is, first of all, nobody ever wins an argument. Don't ever do it. Don't ever argue. We can't win an argument. If I wanted to have a good, rational discussion with somebody and show them my viewpoint as to why I think cryptocurrencies would be a good investment, what I would say is that the first thing you want to do, and this is kind of like sales training, is anytime you're going to overcome an objection, you have to make sure that you clearly understand what that objection is. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. A very hypothetical question, it's hard to answer, but don't argue. What I would do is I would ask the question, what is it that's holding you back? What are your What are your fears, et cetera. And then you can craft your answer. So that's what I'd say first of all. And then as a more general statement, what I would always say is talk about the problem. Talk about the problem that it may be relevant to them. Talk about, that, hey, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. They don't have equal opportunities because of the way the money's dispersed. Right? The fears, the dangers in banking, the loss of privacy, all these different things. Talk about a problem that resonates with them, and then kind of turn the pain into that problem until they're like, man, that's a horrible problem. And then offer a solution. So like, for example, with my little daughter, she's just in elementary school, and I kind of was explaining to her the way that money works and how the bank, the money's there, but the government could seize it or freeze it or steal it whenever they want. And how basically as the government or the central banks print more money, it's basically stealing value right out of my money. And she's like, what? How could they do this? Why don't people know about this? So she easily saw the problem, and then I said, well, we have a better way. Here's a solution. And so that's what I would say. So to answer your question, don't ever argue. Find out more about what is holding them back, and then really talk about their problems that they're having, and then offer a solution. So hopefully that helps. And again, hopefully you're subscribed to the channel. Send me a message to claim your prize. I'm doing 2 videos a week on Thursdays. I'm talking about investing, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin. Massive opportunity. On Tuesdays, I'm talking about before you invest. I'm talking about business, success, how you can make more money so that you can invest more. Rich Formoso. And he says, powerful stuff, Mark. You're providing incredible value with this channel. Thank you very much. Would love to hear more about how to go about choosing a side hustle. I've started a few with limited success. How do you avoid shiny object syndrome? All right, so choosing a side hustle, that's starting a little side job. How do you go about choosing that? Well, first off, do something that you have skill in. Do something that you like, right? Nobody wants to do something they hate, Let's say that I love to spend time on social media, and I hate digging ditches. Well, my side hustle would definitely not be digging ditches, but I love social media. So what if I could get paid for doing something on social media? Let's say that I could offer my services to manage social media for another company, but I don't really know how to do that. Well, so maybe I should increase my education. I could watch any number of probably 100,000 videos on YouTube on how to grow an Instagram following. Then I could take those skills after, a few days of watching instructional videos. I could take those skills and I could go to a company and say, hey, I'm willing to do this for free. Would you pay me if I provide value to you? So find something that you like to do, learn the skills if you need to, and then go offer to provide those services. So that's how I'd go about choosing a side hustle, something that I like or something that I'm already really good at. And then how do you avoid shiny object syndrome? If you figure that one out, let me know. So basically shiny object syndrome is like, oh, what about this one? What about this one? If you're doing something in line with what you really want to be doing, I think you'll be more focused to stay in that. So hopefully that helps, Rich. And the last question we have today is from Chasing Bitcoin. I like your username, Chasing Bitcoin. They asked, do you see a scenario where some of these blockchain projects, especially those that may really be struggling, start merging or possibly have their tech bought out by a larger, more established company looking to get into blockchain? That's a great question. And the answer is yes, 100%. Not only do I think that, I know that. This is exactly how all technology cycles work. This is a brand new technology. It's not invested into gold that's been around for thousands of years. It's not invested into bonds that have been around for hundreds of years. There's been 5 technological revolutions over the last 200 years. Steam engines, railroads, automobiles, telecommunications, etc. Understanding the way these technology cycles work is the key to really getting wealthy in them. Now, I did a whole video series on this. Check out the link above for the video on that wealth transfer series. I highly recommend it. I made a guide that's really good, if I say so myself. It's a really good guide that you should download, and it really breaks down these technology cycles and how you can use them. So make sure you check out that video and check out the free guide that I put together so you can really understand this. But this is exactly how they work. So basically you get kind of this new technology that gets started, money starts pouring in, and then all of a sudden it kind of blows up really quickly, and you get all these companies that start with this new technology, but they get ahead, the money gets ahead of the technology. And so what happens is they all go out of business. And the remaining few gobble up the technology from the many that went out of business, and then it continues on, right? We've seen this. So for example, in the automobile boom in the 1900s, we saw over 100 auto manufacturers pop up. And then it was 3. Ford, GM, Chrysler, they remained. Now, of course, today we have many more auto manufacturers than that, but that's the way the technology cycle worked. In the internet space, we saw the same thing. Late 90s, early 2000, there was all these internet companies that went out of business. Amazon, Google, etc. bought up the technology. Of course, today we have way more, but that's exactly the way they work. So to answer your question, yes, I do think that's going to happen. We already are seeing this happen, and it will continue to happen more and more. So that's it. That's all that I got for you guys today. Please leave your comments and questions down below for a chance to win. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel first. And that's it. To your success. I'm out.